Exam season is on. Your fight and flight hormones must be activated. Welcome everyone. First, we will talk about general VIVA tips. Starting with rule number 1. So, the first rule is be humble and never argue with your examiner. As Dale Carnegie says in his book How to Win Friends and Influence People, that criticism is futile. So more you will try to argue with your examiner, the more chances are there that he will not like you. Second rule is that listen to the examiner patiently and answer accordingly. That means when he or she stops you and asks you another question, then you have to stop and answer the examiner in the way he or she wants. In most of the cases, examiner wants you to not answer continuously. That's why he or she will be changing questions frequently. So you don't need to answer everything you know. Just try to answer what he or she wants to know. Now coming to the third rule. The third rule is that give answers in chunks, not all at once. For example, if examiner asks you what is HMP pathway, just tell him the definition. Then he will ask you the site, then tell him both intracellular and tissue site. Then he will ask you the mechanism, then you can explain the whole mechanism, and never ever forget to tell the significance and clinical significance. See what happens when you give answer in chunks and not all at once. If you say everything all at once, then you are just answering one question, and since you are speaking continuously, chances are there that examiner will stop you and divert you somewhere else. So it's like cutting your own feet. And when you answer in chunks, first is that you are answering more questions, like 3 to 4 questions at a time, and examiner would be curious and he would keep on asking more questions from the same topic and won't interrupt you. Number 4. If examiner asks you the source of your answer, always give the name of standard books. For example, in biochemistry you can say Harper, Lippincott, Vasudevan, etc. Never ever say Rafi or Prasad. Now an important rule. Rule number 5. Don't answer if you don't know. It gives a wrong impression and examiner will doubt you everywhere. Just say sorry sir or ma'am if you don't know the answer. Now a golden tip. It may sound funny but it's the most important thing. So the rule number 6 is play in the same way as the examiner does. What examiner does? Examiner takes out question from your own answer. So answer in the way that you know every possible question from the answer. Say, for example, when examiner asks me the significance of HMP pathway, then what will I do? See, here are two conditions. I know two significance. First is that NADH released helps in phagocytosis. See, here I don't know the mechanism. But in the second case, where I say NADH released here helps in maintaining the integrity of RBC membrane, here I know the mechanism. So of course, I will first tell him the significance where I know the mechanism. So I will tell him the second one. In this way, I will ensure that I don't get trapped anywhere. Now coming to the funny part, or you can say it additional points. So the first point is that always bath and don't be stinky in your viva. Second point is that always have good breath. It may sound funny, but please do brush your teeth properly before going to your viva. Third point is that cut your nails. Big nails are not attractive to the examiner. Fourth point is that for girls, don't do any harsh makeup. Don't be offended, but you can go for very soft, most natural possible makeup. And please do tie your hair. And the last point is that if you have college uniform, then wear it properly and keep the buttons of your apron closed. So all the best, and go and break a leg. Don't no, not of the examiner, but go and perform very well in Viva.